Morning, everybody. It's taking me a minute to get on here and get this going. Let's see. This is what I want right there. Okay. So, what I've got going on today, I do believe I have my volume on. Um, if anybody's out there and I pop up on your screen, if my mouth is moving but you're not hearing me, please let me know. I've done this. This is my third day in a row trying this new process for me. And so far, two out of the three, I've had zero of my commentary, which honestly, it's no big deal because it's mostly my rambling, but it just kind of cracks me up that that is that is what people are seeing. Uh, I do not want that. All right, so let me see. Okay, so anyhow, on with my morning. Um, I'm going to uh, close that. See, close that. I don't know why this is here. I don't want that there. I don't think people are seeing that, but I need to make sure. So let me go here and view my stream. Okay. I put that completely out of the view. Nope, not that. Okay. So hopefully this is all you guys are seeing is just Sidekick Stella there and me, and of course my desktop. Okay, so I want to look at that. Okay, I want to um, look at my chat and see what's going on, and then I also want to see that.
Always be a Decepticon. When we
Okay,
used to do
in a different. Okay, so there's that. I know, I'm so organized. Okay, so that I can see the chats come up makes it a lot easier. Okay, so um, what I wanted to talk about today is Social Security disability insurance. So, way back in 2009, I had a pretty much a nervous breakdown. I was working, did accounting for a major payroll company, and you know, I drove every day. I was a regular productive member of society, and just lost my mind one day. Could not do it anymore. Became agoraphobic for 2 full years. Uh, didn't leave my house. Was just was just a wreck. Just a wreck of a human being. Well, after about 2 years of that, on heavy medication and everything, it was still really difficult. But um, we had, you know, gone from me making good money to making nothing. I believe by then, by 2011, we may have already gone through a bankruptcy. And I know if you look back at that time frame, 2008, 2009, who didn't go through a bankruptcy, but uh, not everybody went through it because they lost their mind. So I applied for Social Security disability. Now, mind you, I'm still of the mindset at this time. I didn't want a lawyer because anytime you go to one of these Social Security disability places, they it's a revolving door of people. You don't see the same person every time. Well, I don't want to go to a bunch of strangers. I won't even go to a doctor because I don't want to see a stranger. I don't want anybody near me. I don't want anybody touching me. I don't want anybody talking to me. Goodness knows if people talk to me, I'm going to start crying. So, I'm not interested in that. Not interested in that level of embarrassment or that level of uh, having to acknowledge that I just cannot function on that level of human being anymore. I don't need that kind of affirmation. I already know. So, anyhow, I did the Social Security disability on my own, got denied, went through the whole process, uh, ended up at the uh, administrative law judge, I think is where I was at, which is when I finally did get an attorney, and that was years later. I mean, it had been through the, process for years. Think about Social Security disability, and this is something that, okay, so mind you, I applied in 2011 for an event that happened in my life in 2009. It took me that long to apply for it. So, going forward all of these years, what I've learned about Social Security disability, if you're denied, boom, there is a picture of everything going forward in the future will be decided based on that snapshot. So the administrative law judge was deciding on whether or not that snapshot decision was correct and lawful and um, within the boundaries of what they can decide, what they can do. Everything stops right there at your original decision. And yes, you can, with continued care and, you know, build on that case more. But literally, at that point, all decisions, I believe, and this is how uh, it's registering in my brain now, everything is based on that point in time, that little snapshot. So, anyhow, that being said, was denied at the administrative law judge level and I went all the way to the federal level, all based on my original filing. Now, mind you, like, we're past the point where I could even apply again for SSDI and be a contributing person within that program. There's like a 5 to 7 year period of time that they take your average income. Well, I'm already past that. So, anyhow, at the federal level, I've also received my denial. And this is now years ago because it's taken me this long to get over it. So, my brother in law um, is having health issues, and he uh, applied for SSDI, and this is fairly recently, and he was approved. I'm so jealous. I am so, so jealous, and that is not attractive that he was approved. And I feel so slighted. I feel so slighted by, you know, anybody who ever looked at my case, definitely by my government. I mean, I paid in good money to this process, okay? I paid in good money, and I'm still where I was at before. I still don't drive. I still don't work. I still do not leave my home unescorted because I don't want uh, I want a social barrier around me. So I've got my husband and my sons and their wives are usually with me. We've moved from place to place so that we can be close to family, so that I can have a social buffer and still have somewhat of a life. But my life is so tiny. My life is like this compared to the whole ginormous world around me. Anyhow, so now I'm to the point of thinking, do I have any recourse to Social Security to say, hey, this is what happened. When I first applied for Social Security disability, first of all, I was not in my right mind. I mean, they don't even let people sign contracts because you're not in your right mind. How could they possibly have me make mental health decisions or life decisions based on the fact that, you know, my brain was not functioning at that time? Sometimes it still isn't. I mean, I struggle with that. But uh, the company that I worked for, so I had been on short term disability in 2009 for, I think it was like 3 months. And they came to me and they said, you're about to roll on to long term disability. So, what we can do for you, because it's you, we can um, go ahead and give you a severance package. That way, we can get some money into your hands and it can help you out. Mind you, at that time, I think we were actually going through bankruptcy. But uh, legally, I should not have been able to sign those papers. I mean, I had paid for, through my company insurance, short term and long term disability. I should have gone on to long term disability. I was not in my right mind to make that decision. And, you know, look at where I'm at now. They've moved on. They had no problem with it. I mean, it's a company. It's their policy. I understand that. Do what's best for the company, but you know, here I am again, no income. My poor husband is the sole breadwinner and is constantly having to make life adjustments for the fact that not only do I not make money, but I have no uh, income potential. I mean, anyhow, so I digress. So, anyhow, there was that first decision of coming off of short term disability and taking my severance package, which, mind you, also included taking my 401k money. I have no more 401k money because I took that as well. Um, because again, not in my right state of mind. I just wanted to do anything to help our household out because we were going through such financial trouble. Both of our kids were in high school. Um, I mean, it was a stressful time. So anyhow, throughout this whole process, I've done everything that SSDI required of me. When you get information back from SSDI, you usually have a 10-day turnaround period to fill out your paperwork, get all your ducks in a row and send it back to them so they can take, mind you, it's been up to 2 years at a time before I've heard back from them based on my required 10-day turnaround. That should be unlawful. I mean, it should be unlawful. It's not a way to treat people. It's definitely not. I know that, you know, uh, I'm receiving a letter from one entity, SSDI, and all I have to do is turn around that one piece of paper. And they have to deal with everybody applying into the system. But you know what? Fix the system then, because that's not okay. That is not okay to treat people like that. Um, so there's that. Then I think it was at the federal level. So the last thing on my list of, hey, do I have any recourse on this? There was uh, a specialist that was in the room with us. And that specialist was somebody who could tell you, um, who was with Social Security, and their goal was to say, this person can do this job and this job and this job. And so they are employable. And so we do not have to provide Social Security disability insurance for them. Well, mind you, at the time when I became disabled, I was making over 50,000 a year. And that's, I was contributing based on that. I was doing an accounting job. I have an associate's degree. Just because I had a nervous breakdown does not mean that I am no longer a thinking human being, that I can't put two thoughts together at some point. It may take me longer, but I didn't become an idiot because I had a nervous breakdown. So I don't think that uh, that should be a mitigating factor. Well, anyhow, the job that they came up with for me to have was a like a concierge coffee person at a hotel, at a big hotel that sends coffee service out to all of the rooms for room service. And I would be that back office person who, you know, put the uh, filter in, filled it with coffee, ran coffee pots, stacked up the coffee pots for the people taking them out to the rooms. And they decided that that would be the job for me, that that's a job I could do. And so I asked the question that if I have uh, an episode where I am just, I get emotionally overwhelmed and just cease to function. I mean, it just freezes me up and I cease to function. And I, can't find a small enough place to hide to have my emotional breakdown and not have it in front of everybody and their brother. And I said, at that level, because that is, uh, that's like an adult minimum wage job, even if it pays $12 an hour or $13 an hour. Mind you, again, we're talking years ago. Uh, but is a person, is a manager who deals with people at that level going to be okay with having an employee that at random times for no apparent reason that a fully functioning adult would, do, would just fall apart and not be able to function for, 30 minutes at a time to an entire day. I mean, there are days when uh, getting ready to go and do something takes me probably a minimum of 3 hours. And that is not makeup. That is not, any of that stuff. I function on a much slower level, and it is emotionally stressful to uh, get ready for whatever. I mean, getting ready is like, I'm going to be leaving the house, you know, gonna have to adult for a minute and, you know, it's one of these don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, kind of moments that you have. That is all emotionally draining. So a lot of times when I leave the house, when I come back to the house, I sleep for a long time because it's very emotionally draining. Anyhow, is somebody who employs people at that level going to deal with somebody who has these kind of issues, or are they going to hire somebody for $12 an hour that they can rely on to be there every single day, every single shift? Well, the employment expert, I wish I could remember what their title was, said no, they are not going to tolerate that. And it's in the transcript of my uh, of my court visit there. And to me, that says right there, no, you are not employable, approved for SSDI. That is not what happened. They denied me again. I want to know if I have recourse. So I hope, first of all, that I've got my volume on, that I didn't waste all this air, on just chatting out there to nothing. But I'd also like to hear back from people and know, is there any recourse out there? Hopefully somebody who works for SSDI floats past this stream, or uh, a college student who wants to be an attorney, floats past this stream and says, "Hey, I can I can toss a little advice your way." Uh, I'm just wondering what's out there for me, what's available for me as a recourse, because I don't like being a jealous individual. It is not becoming. It is not, what God wants for this woman. And uh, I need to work on that. So that's what I'm working on today. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed my little 22 minutes of live. And let me know what you think. Hit a like, hit a follow, and comment for me. Thanks.